What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Gamescom 2020, talk about my top 5 reveals and announcements I want to see at this event. Now, this is going to be a mix, by the way, of things that I think are kind of likely to happen. So these are kind of wish list items, but they also have to be within the realm of possibility, okay? That's just something I want to start this video off of, because you're going to notice there's some things missing, which we will discuss as we go through it. Really quickly, before I jump into it, I do want to promote my second channel, Podcast Now Plus. The link for it is in the description below. If you guys have not yet checked it out, it would mean a lot to me if you guys did. I'm going to be covering Gamescom over there. There's daily videos on gaming news, movie news on that channel as well. Okay, so again, links in the description below. Podcast Now Plus is the channel name. All right, I excluded things like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and the Gotham Knights, or Gotham Knights, the game. I don't think those two things would be there. Gotham Knights, I think, is probably the one that would maybe make people upset that isn't in this list, so I did just kind of want to say that. I think that it could be there, but very, very unlikely. Definitely want it to be. I just really think because of what's happened, and going, you'll see off of the other stuff that I'm going to talk about, I just don't think it fits on a list like this, okay? So let's go through some things. Again, these are things I want. These are not necessarily predictions, because at the same time, I'm fully aware that some of these are not going to happen. And these are, by the way, are in no particular order. So the first thing, and we'll go with some things that I think, again, maybe aren't so likely, is the Mass Effect remaster, okay? Now, I think that this is going to be announced in September. We kind of know it's going to be announced in September. I kind of just want to throw it in there because, again, this is a game that, well, Gamescom is so close to September. You know what I mean? It's only like 4 days before it. It would be a cool opportunity to see a trailer, and then over the next couple days, when they have the developer showcases, or whatever they want to call them, to be able to see gameplay of it. I mean, it fits. Look, Mass Effect, this remastered trilogy, fits the description of what kind of Gamescom is. Okay, it's not the biggest thing in the world. It's not the smallest thing in the world, which I think you'll find kind of almost a common theme from these things. Gamescom is not going to be the biggest show on the face of the earth, okay? I love Jeff Keighley. He does a great job, but we know, the shows are kind of overhyped a lot, including even from people like me, and then they end up just not being all that great, okay? So I think Mass Effect kind of fits the build. The only reason, obviously, I think that this isn't going to happen is because we've heard a lot of talk that this is going to be announced in September. At the same time, like, this is a perfect opportunity for it, and it's only a couple days before September, so, if those people were wrong, or maybe if you can just kind of pull it back, just announce a little bit earlier, I think it's definitely possible. Second thing, again, an unlikely one, the Harry Potter open world RPG. Now, the reason I put this here is mainly driven by hope. This is because I hope that this game is going to be here. I want this game to be here, and it's so powerful, my hope for it. It overshadows the fact that there's just no way that it's going to happen. Now, I get, again, because it's important to note this, Warner Bros. Is on the list of Gamescom. Okay, I do understand that. They were a late-minute addition to Gamescom. They weren't on the kind of like that billboard, the picture that Jeff Keighley did like a week or so ago that had like, somewhat big publishers. I mean, there were big publishers. Sega was on there. Microsoft was on there. There were some big ones, but, Warner Bros. Wasn't on there. Led me to say, okay, well, Gotham Knights, isn't obviously happening at Gamescom. Stuff like that. Warner Bros. Is on there. Now, I personally think it's not for Harry Potter. We'll get to what I think it is in just a second, but we can all dream. You know what I mean? We can all dream that a game like Harry Potter could happen at a Gamescom. Again, I think the thing holding it back is because this show just flat out isn't for that. This game would be absolutely enormous. I think a Harry Potter announcement would be kind of the headline of any event. If it was at, say, like a PS5 event, let's say, the next, Sony show, and they have this thing here, I really feel like when it ends, this would be one of, like, the top 3 talking points. So I really feel like it has such power. I don't think it would kind of belong in a Gamescom. Again, though, I would just really, really hope. Number 3, this is the reason why I do think Warner Bros. Is here, is the Lego Star Wars release date. So this is more of a prediction. This is kind of so you guys can tell, okay, he's not just, like, firstly an idiot, and he's not just also saying things that he hopes is there, but he also clearly knows won't be. No, Star Wars, I really do think, I've been saying it actually for several weeks. I've even made a video on it on the second channel. channel, I 1000% believe this game is going to get its release date at Gamescom. We know it was supposed to get news before the end of August, or actually I believe they said before the end of summer. People kind of called them out on that, and they said, well, August isn't over yet, so there's still more time. Everything is kind of leading up to this. I truly, again, why is Warner Bros. Going? I think it's to announce the release date here. Remember, the release date of this game was already leaked. It's mid-October. It was leaked in a May trailer, but then taken down, and the trailer was put back up, and the release date was gone. But that was in May, and since then, we've gotten nothing about this game, so it has made people, including myself, worry. Maybe there's a delay, maybe something happened. I think it's definitely still possible this game does come out in October. In fact, I think it's going to happen, but I think this is the show that a game like this gets announced. And again, to my earlier point, this is a perfect example of a game that fits a show like this. It's, again, not a severe, and by the way, Gamescom is going to have, I believe Jeff Keighley said, like indie, smaller games, but this isn't the smallest game in the world. This is also not, again, to the level of like a Harry Potter or a Gotham Knights, okay? It wouldn't steal the show. It wouldn't be the big announcement of the show. It's just Lego Star Wars, which, again, is not a bad thing. By the way, I'm getting this game day one, so it's not like I'm anti-Lego Star Wars or something. I'm going to get this game. The game looks incredible from the very, very small amount that we've seen, but also we've heard quite a bit about it. This, I absolutely believe, is going to be there. Number 4, kind of going again, a little off the grid, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, let me explain this one, because here's the deal with Assassin's Creed. The thing I want to see here is kind of just something to get people, including, I guess, myself, back into this game, back into the excitement of this game. This game, and by the way, I do think this could be possible, and I think that if it would appear, I think just like a new trailer, some sort of new trailer, maybe a very, very small gameplay thing. I mean, the show is 2 hours long. There's like 20 publishers going, or 20 plus game. I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff, but at the same time, like, they do have opportunities to show like a good amount from a couple different things. I don't know if they would do gameplay for Assassin's Creed, but definitely if they could just do a trailer. And again, what I think with Assassin's Creed, or what I hope for Assassin's Creed, is pretty much getting it back on track, because this game, look, when it got announced, just like actually all Assassin's Creed games. In fact, it's kind of following a similar trend, even for me. Assassin's Creed, the announcements, I feel like have always been big events. Like, they've always felt kind of spectacular, you know what I mean? Like grand. But this game in particular, I think, had even more to it. I think the announcement of this game was massive, and then, we were promised gameplay at that Inside Xbox. It was pathetic. Everybody, attacked them. They said, okay, well, we're going to make it right at the next time you see it. Then we did see it, and we got to see a fair amount of gameplay of this game, and I feel like the general takeaway was just disappointment. I think a lot of people expected this game to be a next-gen Assassin's Creed, when it's more like just maybe a slight step up from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which to me, again, this is why there is a difference between, everybody's opinion and my own, okay? Because to me, I'm okay with that. I don't like it, I'm not like over the moon about it. Like, I'm okay with it. But at the same time, then we've had all these allegations about Ubisoft and all these people being fired or let go from Ubisoft. I mean, there's been a lot, specifically the Assassin's Creed team, right? Not just Ubisoft. So there's been a lot of issues, and I think that this game really needs kind of a kick in the butt, to us. Like, they need to kick this game into our faces, is kind of what I mean. You know what I mean? So that we see this game again, we're like, all right, we can get excited for this. I mean, it's going to sell well. It's Assassin's Creed. It's going to be solid. It's just, can it be amazing? And I think that gameplay that we saw really hurt a lot of people's opinions on it, because I think the bar was lowered. I think people, again, were expecting it to be, this is the next-gen game, and it's just flat out not. Okay, I never really expected it to do that, but I know a lot of people did, and here we are now, but a lot's happened even since then, and the game has been, I think, in some trouble. I really, really do. So I think an event like Gamescom, just a few months before this game comes out, right, going to come out in like 2.5 months, they need to get this game back out in front of us, but more importantly, it needs to get back out in front of us, but it needs to kind of reinvigorate us. It needs to be special. It needs to show us something that makes us excited for something like this. And the fifth thing, which this is probably a cop-out, you guys can probably call me on that, but I want to see Series X/PS5 games. games. That's basically that. I don't have a specific one. I was thinking about specific ones, but then it would be over a top 5 list. I'm thinking like a Kenna Bridge of Spirits. I'm thinking like the Medium, stuff like that. Again, you can't think too big. I don't think we're going to see Miles Morales gameplay. I don't think Halo Infinite's just randomly going to come back out from from hiding. None of that stuff is going to happen. But I do want to see some things running on next gen. Like, look, this is the finale. Even Jeff Keighley has kind of shown that in the kind of like the trailer for Gamescom. This is the wrap up to the summer. We've had a lot that's happened this summer. Some good, some surprising, some exciting, some disappointing, some lame. Like, use the words you want to use. It's been quite a summer, and this is kind of the ending to it. And this is the summer leading into next gen. So I think Gamescom kind of needs to reflect that in some way. The games I mentioned, Assassin's Creed, Lego Star Wars, Mass Effect, like those are all current gen games. Harry Potter, if announced, that would be a next gen game, or it would probably be cross gen, maybe, but definitely for sure like next gen. So I do want to see more of those. I want to see games that are going to be on more than just current gen. Resident Evil Village could easily be one of those, by the way, that fits this bill. We know that we were supposed to see more of this game in August, and we haven't seen it yet. So Gamescom seems like a good place for that. Obviously, that game seems to only be coming out on next gen, so that kind of fits the build. So something like that. I just want a few games in this 2-hour conference. I want a couple games that are for next gen. I think that's kind of a necessity for an event like this. But guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? What are some games? What are some announcements that you want to see at Gamescom? Do you like mine? Do you think mine are completely crazy? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up, and I'll be covering Gamescom, live as it's happening. We'll have videos right after, whatever gets announced. Obviously, we know like Call of Duty and stuff like that is going to be there, Destiny, Doom Eternal. Like, there's some confirmed things that are going to be at Gamescom. I'll pick some of the most, the biggest things that kind of speak to me the most, and I'll definitely be covering that right afterwards and then the next day as well, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.